Well. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Rich. Real Talk with Rich is back in the building one more again. Hi, everybody. Apologies for my delay and my tardiness. It's been my fault. It was all my fault. Me and Jermaine, it's our fault. But anyway, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Getting your week started with your boy on tonight. So I'm glad you're here. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend, tell a hater what's going on. I want to salute everybody that's here with us tonight. Also, if you have a little few pennies that you can spare, send us a super chat. But if nothing else, please like the video. You know. Let everybody know that we live on the night. We got a dope show to get to. Don't want to delay the time. I've already been late, you know what I'm saying? I'm on colored people time. So we don't want to promote that stereotype, okay? That's one of the negative ones we don't want to promote. So let me just holler at all of y'all that's in the chat. Brother man to you, what's going on? Marwan, what's happening with you? 1 in 100 podcast, what's going on? What's going on? Kevin Pitts, salute my brother. Everybody that's joining us with us there. Nancy the Spider, what up, what up, what up? Glad you guys are here. So tonight, we're going to get into some shenanigans. Of course, this is a comic book the comic book show. But that don't stop me from talking about just whatever because I do what I want, you know what I'm saying? A few gray hairs will give you that, that'll give you that, what can I put it? That privilege, if you will. And we already in the building. All right, we got one super chat already. Wazeka, what's good with you? And brother man hitting us with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Always showing support. Let's go. Salute. Thanks again. Alliance, I see you. What's going on? Everybody, we here tonight. So we're going to get into some shenanigans tonight. And so NBA playoffs is going on. I don't want to talk about the NBA playoffs because when the GOAT is in the news, we need to talk about that. Michael Jordan joins NBC as special contributor to its NBA coverage. Michael Jordan is joining the NBC Sports as a special contributor to its NBA coverage when the 25-26 season begins. NBC made the announcement on Monday morning during its upfront presentation at Radio City Music Hall, previewing the network's offering during the upcoming television season. I'm so excited to see the NBA back on NBC, Jordan said during a video message. The NBA on NBC was a meaningful part of my career, and I'm excited about being a special contributor to the project. I'm looking forward to seeing you all when the NBA launches on NBC this October. Okay, so his airness is descending off of Mount Air, Jordan, to grace us commoners with his presence for the NBA 25-26 season. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is because the ratings of the NBA are down. It's no secret that the NBA got problems in terms of its fan base. So, what do you do when your fan base don't like your product? You go and you get the GOAT. You go and you get the HNIC. You go and you get the dude whose tennis shoes continue to sell like hotcakes. You go get that dude. And look, everybody, say what you want about Jordan. Some people say he's not a nice guy, whatever. I don't care. It is what it is. All I know is I saw this dude just kill it in the 90s, and it is what it is. It's going to be kind of cool to see him comment. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of like Tom Brady when he retired and he was doing his press run before he decided he wanted to own the Oakland Raiders or whatever. So either way, it's cool just to see Jordan come down and offer some commentary. Now, I don't know what Jordan is going to say. I don't know if Jordan's going to be honest. I wouldn't be mad if he was, though. I'm just intrigued. So they might actually get me to watch the NBA next season when Jordan appears. And let's be honest, the NBA has not been the same since they left NBC. So it's going to be good to see the network go back to where really the league prospered. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So anyway, so y'all get ready for the next season or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even thrilled about it. I hate Boston got bounced. Man, Jason Tatum, whew, that was a jacked up injury. It is what it is, but it's basketball. You do what you do. So let's see what we get. Let's get some of these comments. Is Michael Jordan not going to coach or help the young generation? He might as well move on. Nancy says, hopefully they'll bring the old NBA on NBC theme music back. Yeah, I'm here for that. Charles Stewart III, what's good with you? Angel Perry says, no, let me get to Def Rocket. Def Rocket says the NBA sucks, players don't play their assigned roles, and everyone is shooting threes. I can't say that. That's all facts. Angel Perry says Michael Jordan is one of the meanest athletes I ever worked with. You can forget me with anything having to do with him. I've heard stories. H&A says, I don't care what anybody says. The NBA total product is not as nearly as I'm guessing that's compelling as it was a few decades back. Today it's all 3-pointers, layups, and dunks. Boring. Charles Stewart III, I feel like Jordan is going to clap back and say some stuff people trying to troll him. And what other podcast says, I bet LeBron joins NBA TV. Well, look, it is what it is. I'm just here for the chaos. If that's what LeBron wants to do, hey, I wouldn't be mad at it. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't be mad at it at all. Mawan, thank you for the super chat. Come on, Derek, let's go.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Yep. Shout out to Michael Jordan and all of it. Fast Willie Jackson said Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I mean, look, it's 6-0. I know a lot of people like to talk about LeBron, but it's hard to, I don't know. I don't want to get into that because I know that I know that we all got some strong opinions when it comes to who the GOAT is. Yeah. So let's just move on. We are a comic book show, so let's leave the NBA alone and get into the comic book discussion. Our first article comes from CBR. CBR. The Spawn universe expands and gets even darker in its exclusive first look. The Spawn universe is about to uncover whole new territory with the release of Bloodletter. Per an exclusive press release from Image Comics, some of you guys may have already heard this news. Fans can learn more than ever about the Spawn universe's next supernatural hero, Tasha Thornwall. She is set to make her debut in the pages of Bloodletter issue 1 from writers Joseph P. Illich and Tim Seeley and artist Christian Rosado. Tasha Thornwall was once an otherwise ordinary CIA operative, all until an encounter with Al Simmons forced her into the shadows. After living on the run for so long and discovering that Simmons is still alive in the former Spawn, Tasha sets out on a quest of lethal revenge against the man who ruined her life, no matter how much more powerful he has become since time began. And you can scroll down and get the cover of that Bloodletter issue number 1, Derek. And, looking forward to that for sure. Joe Illich is a dope writer, and so I think he's going to do exceptionally well with this particular title. It's part of the Spawn universe. Black woman superhero, or I should say, protagonist. So yeah, we gonna dig into this when it comes out, and I'm pretty sure we'll probably at some point get Paul on the horn so he can talk to, Mr. Joe Illich, and we can talk to him about this particular book. I'm a Spawn fan. I'm reading all the Spawn titles, I think, except Nick's. But I am reading King Spawn, The Scorch, Gunslinger, Tales of Unslinger, a host of titles or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, just stay tuned for that. That's gonna be dope. Basically, he says Seeley comments on this and says Seeley offered his fans his own take on Bloodlet, explaining at this core, this story is about synthesis. For our lead, Tasha, it's that combination of espionage and street magic that makes an unkillable survivor in a world where guys like Spawn, Overkill, Violator walk. The comic itself is a synthesis, too, of Joe, Christian, and me, something totally new none of us would have concocted on our own. So, yeah. This looks pretty interesting. I'm going to be honest. Commentary Rosado, who's the artist on this, he says it's blood magic, evil questioning itself. It's also love and redemption. Tasha took a life on her own, and what we do as a team is narrate chapter after chapter. In this transgressive and dark world, there is a new character who is a privilege to draw. Joe, Tim, and I have that mission to make her struggle known and what she has to tell us. So we will definitely check that out. That's going to be in your stores on June the 18th. That's when issue 1 will arrive. So please, please, please pre-order. What's going on, Shrine World? Good to see you in the building with us on tonight. So yeah, that's what we got as far as Spawn coming up. Next article we're going to dig into. Let's see. Fandomwide article. This is interesting. This rumor or this commentary will not go away. Brother Man asked a question before we get to it. He says, what platform are they using and how dark are they going to take it? It's an image title, and so it's the Spawn universe. So it should be as dark as you can stand, if I can say it like that. So yeah. But yeah, Tron World hits us with a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Let's go. Uh-oh. I guess not, huh? Okay. Thank you, Derek. Anyway, so let's get to this article. This is a Fandomwide article. This rumor, whatever, will not go away. Marvel fans, brace yourselves because the X-Men are coming to the MCU, and the rumors are flying faster than a sentinel on the hunt. Word on the street is Marvel Studios is eyeing a major shakeup for its mutant reboot, with Denzel Washington potentially stepping into the iconic role of Magneto and a race swap Professor Charles Xavier also in the mix. These bold casting choices, sparked by insider buzz from the Hot Mic podcast, have set the internet ablaze, with fans split between the excitement and skepticism. As the MCU gears up for its mutant era post-Avengers Secret Wars in 2027, these rumors stir up a storm for fans. So the word is that Denzel may be tapped to play Magneto. The idea of Denzel Washington stepping into Magneto's magnetic boots popped up again during the Hot Mic podcast with John Rocha. Washington, the Hollywood Titan with Oscars for Glory and Training Day, would bring unmatched intensity to Eric Lenshier, the mutant revolutionary whose Holocaust survivor backstory fuels his fight against human oppression. On the podcast, Jeff Schneider revealed that Marvel Studios is reportedly eyeing Denzel Washington to play Magneto, the iconic X-Men villain, former friend of Professor X. He also suggested that the studio's potential plan to race swap Charles Xavier could be tied to this casting choice, aiming for a fresh take on their dynamic. Okay, so Charles Stewart said, if Denzel gonna be Magneto, we will have a huge uptick in the culture wars, but it could be an interesting shakeup. You know, let me just say, first of all, I don't know if you guys know this, But Denzel is old. Denzel is old. And to play a character like Magneto in the MCU, which takes a considerable amount of time. Most of the guys that get these MCU contracts, they lock them down for like 10 years. Okay. Denzel is, I think, if he ain't 70, he closing in on it. Dude is old. So right off the rip, I'm like, nah, I'm not with that. I just think that, you know, he's too old. And at the same time, I don't necessarily know what he could bring to a character that is historically and canonically Jewish. I'm not running from that. Race swaps don't bother me as much as the cultural aspect of them. Magneto's Holocaust power or Holocaust perspective is key to that character. So I don't see the benefit of bringing Denzel for that. I get it could offer a quote unquote fresh take to the character, but what are you going to do with his backstory? Is he Sammy Davis Jr.? Because, you know, Magneto's Jewish. But again, that's Marvel being Marvel. And if that's what they want to do, okay, fine. But I'm not necessarily a fan of this. So now it says Ian McKellar was 60 when he first played Magneto in 2000. Yeah, I get it. I do, but I mean, Denzel is very, very old. and Exposito is just as old too. So you have these old black men playing these characters, and again, you got to sell tickets. It's you know, I mean, you know, and I get it. I get the blurs want to like really nerd out on this kind of thing, but I'm just not. I want the X-Men to be who the X-Men are, not what they want them to be. I want them to be who they are. Brother Man's like, why make Magneto black all of a sudden? That's my question, Brother Man. I'm not really for this. I'm really not. I'm just, you know, and it's cool. If they want to do it, I'm gonna buy the popcorn. I'm gonna go check it out or whatever. But do I have a right to be pissed at the fanboys if they go off like they're going to? If this happens? Not at all. I can't say, matter of fact, I'm gonna be chilling. I'm gonna be over here like the sisters be doing. I'm gonna drink my water and just look at y'all. So no, this is not the lick. This is not the lick. So I hope this is just a rumor, and I'm hoping it's just clickbait. I'm just hoping that they're not even really considering this, you know. Now, Robert Monroe Jr. says Denzel's Magneto would have to be a survivor of a race massacre like Rosewood for the race swap to make sense. Absolutely. And I just don't think that they're going to do that. I just don't think they're going to do that. I just don't think they're going to do it, because that's the only way it would make sense. You literally would have to retcon or just or tell everybody like they do everything. Give them a different universe. Or this didn't happen in the 616 or in universe 1999999. It happened in universe 23, 55, 87, and 5011. Something like that for it to even make sense. Let the X-Men be the X-Men, period. Let that story be told. That story, Christopher Claremont, all of those, you got a gang of stories you can tell. Go on and tell them stories. We don't need this. I'm just saying. Tron World, you got a super chat for us. Thank you, sir. Just for historical references, there were Black Jews persecuted from Rhineland and did not get the attention or benefits white Jews received. I get that, Tron World, and you're right. But at the end of the day, canonically, Magneto is a European Jew. We can talk history, and we can kind of like, try to kind of like just for that. But to be a troll to be a troll, that's like saying white people that live in Africa can actually play T'Challa or something like that. Just like we ain't going for that, I ain't going for this. I'm not going for this either. So it is what it is, y'all. But I thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Let's go, Derek.
Let's go! Let's go!
Yep. The mall was about to send them comic book values to a man. I saw something today. I saw a behind the scenes. I saw a what was it? Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur. It a number one for like $40, and it did not. The crazy part was it did not. Nobody bought it, but it was literally like $40. It's like, wow. Common Sense hits us with a super chat. He says, I do believe existing Black characters like Frenzy and Tempo should carry on Magneto's ideology. They were villains. People should know them. I agree 100%. Thank you, Common Sense, for the super chat and your comment. Let's go, Derek.
Show me the money! Yeah! Louder! Show me the money! I need to feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! I love Black people!
Yeah. Tron Will says White Panther. I'm just saying, y'all. See, it's not fun until the rabbit grabbed the gun. We can't have it both ways. It just can't. I don't want. Listen, I like the White Wolf as a character, but I don't want him dressing up as the Black Panther to start. Okay, recast T'Challa all day long. The T'Challa fanboys lose their mind. Boy, look, you'd have a riot. They be down there at Marvel Studios offices, burning the building down. It'd be like that plantation that just went up in flames the other day. Nope, not got time for that. Brother man said, this is one time where Denzel makes no sense as Magneto. Yep. And say Charles Stewart say, yo, White Panther would start a war. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And so in the spirit of this conversation, let's deal with a hoax, rumor, or whatever you want to call it. We got a Screen Rant article for this. You know, on social media, and particularly in Black blurred spaces, some people believe that Professor X and Magneto are based on real Black people. We're talking about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and El-Haj Shabazz, aka Malcolm X. This Screen Rant article back from last year talks about this, and we're just gonna dig into it a little bit because some of the Black fans out here have been running with this narrative, have been running with this idea that these XMen, these two characters, are really based on these two giants in our spaces. And as much as I love Magneto and Professor X, okay, let's keep it a stack. Death Rocker says Malik Shabazz. El-Haj Malik Shabazz. Okay. Can't forget the El-Haj. We got to say the El-Haj to go with it. So, says his Professor X, Magneto were not based on Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Throughout the years, many X-Men readers have drawn parallels between the franchise's two figureheads, Professor X and Magneto, and civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. In an interview, legendary X-writer Chris Claremont called these comparisons valid, right? Though he suggested a more appropriate parallel for his own work with characters, particularly Magneto, which he believes he is more based on former Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin. In an interview with Empire, legendary X-Men writer Chris Claremont explained in real-world influences behind his takes on Xavier and Magneto, which shaped Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's archetypes into a multidimensional flesh and blood characters. Claremont noted that it would have been incredibly presumptuous for him to base his characters on King and X, America's two most famous black civil rights leaders, though the opposing mutants share some tangible similarities with both activists. Rather, Claremont drew on his own experiences in Israel and his understanding of Menachem Begin as his inspiration for his stories. Okay, and tomorrow, Smooth Approach says Malcolm's 100th birthday. Yes, right. It is the 19th of May. Happy birthday, Malcolm X. So, comment says that misconception was before Wikipedia and social media was a thing. Yeah, it's been out there, and I think part of it is because, we can identify with oppression, and the X-Men are a group of mutants or a group of beings who are dealing with oppression. So for us to say that they are like these two characters is not far-fetched. Claremont says, quote unquote, it's a valid thought. So he's not dismissing those who claim that, but he's saying in essence that I understand where people are coming from. But we can't let this narrative continue to run because it's just not the truth. Now, there are comic book creators that are more than able to do characters, archetypes, and tropes, or whatever you want to call it, based on these two characters. They out here. So for those of you who are artists and creators, you can do an archetype. You can do a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King type character. You have the ability to do that. But we gotta let this go, not because it's not necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, it's just not the truth. Now, if you want to use comics as a propaganda tool, have at it. But if you get checked on it, or if someone corrects you, don't be mad about it. Just understand that that's the truth. Because one thing that we don't want to do is we don't want to just make it seem like, okay, well, black people just have to co-opt or just claim everything. Our fingerprints may be on a lot of things, and it's fine. But where those fingerprints are, let's not create space or whatever to do it. Now, if they're going to be people with agendas, hoteps, and all that, that's going to say what I'm saying and they're going to disagree, that's perfectly fine. I just know that when I read these comic books, I want to read them for the story. And if you can see yourself in a story, that's great. That's wonderful. If you can identify with the story and the people that's in, that's great. That's fine or whatever. But when I read about the X-Men, I don't always see that tale, even though Chris Claremont wrote a story, God Loves, Man Kills, amazing story that kind of deals with that, because the first mutants that are killed in that story are black mutants. So Claremont is fully aware of our perspective and how we see it. But these characters are not loosely based on these. What we're basing it on is basically the mutants being oppressed. And we who live in America and all around the diaspora are dealing with white supremacy and oppression. It's relatable, but it's not the same thing. It's just not. We can take inspiration, but we can't just, co-opt it and whatever. We don't want nobody co-opting our culture. We shouldn't want to co-opt it. Even when it comes to nerd culture, we shouldn't want to do it. We got better creative, things going on. We have Afrofuturism as a vehicle in which all of these things can play in. It's up to us to ask creators and to push creators to do things that will bring out our heroes. You don't have to, the Orishas, you want to talk about mythology or whatever, you don't have to talk about white mythology. You can talk about African mythology. There's a lot of it out there, but you got to do the research. not be lazy. Don't you know? I don't. Miles Morales' story is not the lick. Go research some real African mythology if that's what you want to base your superhero stuff on. You gotta see it for what it is. Now, Charles Stewart says, I don't care what anyone says, but I 1000% believe that Stan was looking at the civil rights movement and had a light bulb pop up above his head. Well, I mean, if even if that was the case, right? The original X-Men were all white. I mean, they were. There were no black X-Men before Storm. Is that why y'all love Storm so much? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It is ironically, I'm not reading any X titles at the moment. X-Force just finished. And I was reading that by Jeffrey Thorne. If you need something dope to read, pick up the trade on X-Force. You definitely will enjoy that for sure. Jeffrey Thorne did his thing on that. But I'm not reading Wolverine, which is normally my favorite mutant to read. I am reading Storm, though. I am reading Storm. Ayodele is doing his thing on that book, but nothing else. Now, Paul mentioned something the other night when we were doing our Wednesday wrap-up show. I picked the last couple of issues of X-Men. Story is kind of trippy, but there's two stories weaved into this one story. And so it's been pretty interesting. So I'm gonna hang with it for a minute to see where it goes. Rafe says, people don't realize Magneto being Jewish was the retcon and that the character was originally presented as more of a Hitler-type villain. Interesting. Even in that perspective or whatever, you know what I'm saying, people said that kind of about Malcolm, that he was a black Hitler and that kind of thing. So it makes sense for us to kind of see that or whatever. But, you know, either way, you know what I'm saying, the popular version of Magneto is the Christopher Claremont version and the stories that we've been getting from him. So, yeah. But your point's taken, Rick. Jeff Rocker says, I am tired of the I'm tired of the conscious Hotep narrative about Magneto and Professor X. I mean, you know, it gives the Hotep something to talk about or discuss, you know what I'm saying, because the conscious community, and that's the one thing, let me just say this about the conscious community in the nerd spaces. The conscious community in the nerd spaces is not a problem. I'm all for the conscious community in the nerd spaces. Shout out to my man Dion, who's got a book or a group or a superhero group, Hotep Heroes. If you've been in our Facebook group, you've probably seen him do some little clips or whatever about the Hotep Heroes. And a lot of it is very funny, but thought-provoking. Some of it's trolling, but at the same time, it's designed to make you think. It's designed to make you think. And so it's one of those things where it teeters on the social commentary of consciousness, and it also teeters on the satire and the irony of nerds in these white dominated spaces. It's a conversation piece. I don't necessarily know that we're able to really have the conversation without anybody being triggered or anybody being pissed or whatever the case, you know. But I mean, everybody has a say, should have a say in our space. And I definitely don't want to silence the Hoteps. I want the Hoteps to be mindful, thoughtful, and conscious as they claim. And at the same time, understand that these are fictional characters and these are things we consume out of fun and not out of deep research and et cetera, et cetera. Common Sense hits us with a super chat. He says, I feel like the problem is that most people, writers and other YouTuber talk about X-Men fans won't bother to do research for other Black characters. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, that's not that is not a reach at all. That's the truth. will Marvel ever make the investment in their black characters in regards to the X titles? I do not know. I just do not know. I don't know if they're willing to do that. They have a gang of them. They have a gang of black mutants. We interviewed Tom Brevoort on our Black Comic Lords channel. He is very, very fully aware that we want to see more black mutants. But the question is, will they make the investment? Y'all got everybody and their mama writing X-Men titles now. To me, you ought to want to go on and make the investment. You're doing it with Ayodele on Storm, so you can do it with other titles if you choose to. I think that you can. I think that you can. So thank you for the super chat, Common Sense. Let's go on that, Derek. Now, Fast Willie J says, nah, Rich, keep it 100. Most of these so-called conscious hoteps are grasping at straws from an empty. I'm trying to be inclusive. We all family. but I won't disagree. I won't disagree. But I do think that there's room for everybody. There are content creators that do very radical stuff that I enjoy. And then there are guys who are more conservative. I'm good with that. I love the Afrofuturism stuff. Some of it is dope and some of it be going over the line. But, for the most part, I find it to be entertaining. Now, I do know that sometimes we do itch where we don't scratch. I will say that. Now, it's common sense that Mr. Ayodele, if you're watching, I still enjoy your Storm comic. I'm still pre-ordering the issues. Yes. Shout out to Morella. He joins us every time a Storm book comes out for Stormwatch. Brother Man says we need. Now I got your comment. He says Storm is overrated. I know he brought that up early. Why are you bringing that back, Derek? Look, I don't want to spend a lot of time on Storm as a character. I think Storm is only as good as her writers. We're getting a book right now. To me, in my humble opinion, is the best Storm book we've ever got. And that's no disrespect to anybody that has written Storm or has done a Storm solo series, whatever. We've had a couple. But I got to say, the last Storm run was a snooze fest. I copped every issue, but I couldn't tell you other than that she was with Craig, the corny dude that was in that book. That's all I can that's all I can take away from that original, well, not the original, but from the last Storm run that we got, I think, in 2024, 2023. So, yeah. Yeah. So, it says, Brother Man says, hoteps are a nice educational training factor for children and adults. Okay. JT, what's good with you? He says, evening, OG Rich. Michael Dorn voiced Battle Beast in his first issue was out, and it was good. Okay. You know what? I went to the shop and did not see. Y'all must have bought them all. I did not see the Battle Beast books. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, y'all do what y'all will with that. We got to get to our next article. Our next article is, let's see what we got up. Screen Rant? No, comic book. Comicbook.com. The Hulk wages war on Wakanda in Marvel's Imperial War. So, let's get to it. If I can bring it up on my computer. Okay. Now, Jamal says, it seems we're too worried about the big two doing right by their character. There's so many black creators that we need to be supported. I agree 100%. And we do that here at Black Comic Lords. But we definitely going to talk about the big two because old heads like myself came up with Marvel and DC. Before there was an Image, before there was a Milestone, before there was a Anaya Publishing, before there was a Omega 7, before there was Black Sands or anything like that, all we had was Marvel and DC. And so, like it or not, Marvel and DC is going to be around because it's a part of our nostalgia, it's a part of our childhood. It is what it is, Jamal. And I agree that we need to support the two. But the one thing I will say about the independence or whatever, we got to recognize that, there's a skill level, in fact, that's involved. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about that, but your stuff got to be good. Your stuff got to be good for it to pop like it needs to. So, Godhood Comics has some good stuff. Wise Acres has some good dope stuff. Even Black Sands, their stuff or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I wish they would put their stuff in floppies, you know what I'm saying? But my man's been on this anime kick to put this cartoon out, and I'm not mad at it or whatever, but, there's books out here to go grab. Concrete is another company. We have a gang of them on our website at blackcomiclords.net. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for independent stuff, we got you. But let's get to this article. The Hulk wages war on Wakanda in Marvel's Imperial War, Black Panther. Wakanda is the most technologically advanced nation on Earth, but the Black Panther's kingdom extends to the further reaches of the galaxy. In 2018, Ta-Nehisi Coates' penned Black Panther run established the intergalactic empire of Wakanda, home to a set of space-faring Wakandans who opposed their homeland's traditionally isolationist ways. These settlers would not be colonized, they would be conquerors. The intergalactic empire of Wakanda was a sprawling imperium made up of 5 galaxies: the Benhazen system, T'Chaka's Reach, the Esyan Expanse, the Matrix of the Mamadou, and the Honda's Lattice. From Benhurn to T'Challa Throne World, the intergalactic empire of Wakanda on the planet Bast, in the vibranium-rich Benhazen star system. The Imperials were the highest caste of Wakandans, said to be blood descendants of the founders of Earth's Wakanda Prime. Their subjects, the nameless slaves of the vibranium mines, rebelled as the Maroons in the middle of the Askari of the Empire's police force. Like Planet Hulk before it, the space-set sci-fi epic revolved around the Sakarian Empire of the Teos star system. Coates' Black Panthers was rich in expansive lore. The planet Scar and its moons were inhabited by 4 main sentient species: pink-skinned, upper-class Imperials who subjugated the natives, the Spikes, and the Shadow people of the Empire. And it was there that the Hulk, exiled from Earth by the superhero cabal of the Illuminati, became a gladiatorial champion in the great games known as the Green Scar. We know that's from the actual not World War, but the Hulk, Planet Hulk run, okay? But the 2 worlds will collide in Marvel's Imperial, a cosmic crossover event from architect and writer Jonathan Hickman and artist Ivan Soela and Federico Vicentini. The 4-issue Imperial anchors the event, which kicks off the assassination of galactic leaders. Marvel also announced Imperial War Black Panther, Imperial War Planet She-Hulk, first of its 5 one-shot tie-ins spinning out of Imperial. The T'Challa-fronted Imperial War Black Panther, co-written by Hickman and Victor Laval, shout out to him, with art from Keifu, pits the former monarch against the world breaker Hulk, Amadeus Cho Braun. Then Hickman and co-writer Stephanie Phillips, who's writing Phoenix Wright, by the way, and artist Emilia Lacio follow Bruce Banner's cousin, Jennifer Walters, to New Scar, the Imperial War Planet She-Hulk. So this is going to be pretty dope, y'all. Y'all get ready for this. Summer's going to be on. It's going to be on. It's going to be hot. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Now, I know some people have already have expressed their displeasure because they say T'Challa's going, well, not in this particular story, but there's another run getting ready to come out where T'Challa might be killed. I don't know. And I don't know if T'Challa's going to be any of this, but Wakanda, the Empire, Wakanda's going to be in this. So either way, I know y'all going to buy it. Y'all going to go check it out. And why not? It's comics. And it's the Hulk and Black Panther. What's not to like about that? What's not to like about that? So y'all go pick that up. This actual story goes on sale in August. Imperial issue 1 comes out June the 4th. So that's getting ready to come out now. Now, Imperial War Black Panther 1 and Imperial War Planet She-Hulk go on sale in August with 3 more one-shots still to be announced. So please pre-order this. If you have not put Imperial on your pre-order, y'all go ahead and make it. Y'all go ahead and make that happen. Brother Man asks, does that mean they're bringing Cully Obsidian to Wakanda along with Vision? Not sure. Not sure. I don't really know anything about this except to say that, you know what? Bring it on. I'm going to read it. I'm going to probably get all the tie-ins because, you know, Wakanda's involved, T'Challa's involved. So, you know, hey, we have not seen the Intergalactic Empire Wakanda since the Colts run. So this is going to be kind of cool to just check out. So, yeah. And if you scroll down, Derek, you can see some of the art for this particular, for Imperial. So issue 1 and I think issue number 2. They got it. Scroll down for me, Derek, if you can. Y'all check this out. So this just some of the covers. Y'all recognize that from the old run. So there's Imperial. That's number 1. So it looks like the Nova Corps are going to be involved with that. And there's Imperial issue number 2. Like that yellow. And there's Imperial War Black Panther. You gotta love that, y'all. Gotta love that. And there's Planet She-Hulk. So yeah, got some good stuff coming. Got some good stuff coming. So, with that said, those are our articles for tonight. And so now it's time to turn the conversation in y'all direction. What do you guys want to talk about? What are you guys reading? What's on your mind? Yeah. Now, Jay says the reason question is, will this lead to an ongoing series for T'Challa as Intergalactic Emperor? Well, we know that I think M'Baku is still the regent. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if M'Baku is going to make an appearance. That's a good question, Jay. Or a good comment. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, you know, it'll be cool just to see a revisit of that. You know, I am on record as not liking the Colts run. I did not like T'Challa being a slave in space. I was, you know, I won't say I was triggered, but I just did not like it. But over the years, I have kind of warmed up to it. In fact, the Intergalactic Empire Wakanda is now in book form. You can actually go read it as a novel now. Because I was on record, you know, years ago saying that I felt like that would be better, that story that Coates was telling would be better as a novel. You know, Marvel, y'all owe me some money because I said that. My guys in Black Comic Laws will tell you I said that would probably fare better as a a book, and now it's a book. Who says Marvel don't listen to us? Yeah, but anyway, 10100 Podcast says, I think I'm just going to wait for the Marvel Knights book. All right. Well, you know what? I'll tell you about it. I'll let you know when you got to go back to the shop and pick these up. Nova copes without Sam Alexander. Sam should be in Imperial. Give him something to do, Marvel. Y'all heard it right here. Tell him common sense. Tell him. Pericles, what's good with you? He asked a question. Have they followed up on Bass welcoming T'Challa back to Wakanda at the end of Blood Hunt Black Panther? That's I don't know. I don't think so. We'll see. Maybe you know what? It would be cool if Bass shows up because she was a part of the Coaches run. I'm not sure how deep they're going to go. I'm hoping that they go deep because it's going to involve multiple Black Panthers. So we'll see. So Def Rocker asks a question. What are your top 5 comic book covers? That's as someone who owns over 15,000 comics, Def Rocker. Are you asking all time my favorites, or do you think, or you're asking my all time who I think, you know, mainstream wise or whatever, just total top 5? You got to give me some context to that, my brother. Brother Man says, so now they want to reduce T'Challa or Black Panther to a slave or prisoner. What the hell? No, brother man, you didn't read Ta-Nehisi Coates' run? That was the story, the Intergalactic Empire Wakanda. That was the story that Coates wrote back a few years ago. That been happened. That's not nothing new. Now, the funny thing is, your response to that is hilarious to me because all of the stuff that has happened to T'Challa since John Ridley is hilarious because no one had nothing to say about him being a slave or part of the Nameless clan. It was truth be told, Coates wrote an epic, which is why I said it fares better if they wrote this as a novel. He wrote an epic. And so from the context of you telling this hero's journey, it made sense for what it was. But if you were someone that was excited to see Black Panther on screen and then to have this run at the comic book shop, it was kind of like, why are we doing this? Didn't make a lot of sense to me at the time. So yeah. But as far as my five top covers, I can't really. That's hard, bro. Because I got a lot of comic books in my head. But I'll tell you what, Derek, Def Rock wants to know what are my 5 top comic book covers, right? So I don't know if you got it. Let me know in the chat. Do you have our covers commercial? If you have that available. Because I would play this in response to that. Give me a little time to think about it, what I think my favorites would be. Because to a Manifesto's point, that fave list could change monthly for me. For real. He says he got it. So, yo, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick commercial break. So, Def Rock, I want you to check out. You may have seen this commercial. Maybe you haven't. I did a spoken word piece talking about comic book covers. I hope you dig it if you hadn't seen it. Hope the rest of you guys who haven't seen it will dig it too. But these are some basically dope comic book covers. Check it out, and we'll be right back after that. Let's go, Derek. When you go to an art museum and you see pictures on the wall, what do you think? I can tell you that a picture cannot audibly speak anything. Yet you will be challenged to find something, however, that doesn't speak louder. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. That is how I justify buying black books at times solely for their covers. Sure, I would love for the story inside to be amazing. I would love for the writing to capture my attention and hold my thoughts for ransom. Yet I have experienced a world of story in an image. I am drawn in by drawings and pulled in by paintings, not having an inkling of the message communicated by the ink. For my mind has made up its own mind, and it has told me it does not care what the artist creates, for I, a created being, see me in the work. I see my babies, I see my ladies, I see my brothers, I see my fathers, I see my people, I see my equals, I see everything and anything and something completely different from you and you too. We see the same shapes and colors, but not the same images. Beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder, for I beheld a canvas that canvassed my heart and mind, giving me peace, giving me sadness, and giving me anger, giving me love and giving me hope. So when I see comic books with a face like me, I see a story where half the story has yet to be told, because truly it can't. After all, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay, I wanted you to kind of cut that. Hopefully we won't get dinged for it. Anyway, yeah. So those are some covers that I think we all can dig a cover or two. Derek says, oops. Hopefully we'll just. As far as my favorite covers, Black Lightning issue 1 is probably, because that's my guy. I was 9 years old when you can take that off, Derek. But I was 9 years old when I first saw that cover. That's Derek's. Derek thinks that's my favorite cover. Nita Haas, Nightmare Blog. That is a very disgusting, terrible cover. Now, now covers can be triggering. He says, "What about those Herschel variants?" Yeah, some of the Herschel variants is hilarious. My favorite Black Panther cover. Derek knows my favorite Black Panther cover. It is a very disrespectful cover, but it is my favorite cover. And T'Challa is not on the cover. It is Namor. Namor is on the cover. And you say, who was the sister with the? Who was that sister taking on the devil? Hype Style, what's good with you? That's actually Rodney Barnes' Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog. You know, Rodney Barnes, who wrote Philadelphia. That's a book in that in the Philadelphia universe. That cover there. That's Saturday Evening Post homage. Yeah. Namor with the flag. That's one of my favorite. It's very disrespectful, disgusting, but it makes me laugh every time I see it, because it is just they just was out of line for that cover. But that's one of my favorite covers. Static. You see, he's gonna bring it up. That's the cover. He says, no Lion Man, or Lobo. I got those. Lobo is a favorite cover of mine for sure. He said, what we're not going to do is show that cover. I know Styles. Oh, yo, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He says, it's funny, but that name on cover was last. Bruh, every time I see that cover, I'm just easily amused. But yeah, that's one of my favorite covers though. Some of the Stranger Comics have my favorite covers. The Dead President's Homage is one of my favorites. Silver Surfer with Thor is one of my favorite all-time characters. I mean, one of my all-time favorite covers. Yeah. Alex Ross might as well pay the name more whiteness. He was cold. He was wet, brother. Y'all go stop. Anansi said Marvel was all kinds of wrong for that. I mean, they were. But that's the cover. That's one of my favorite covers. Tales of Asunder. So yeah. One of my favorite covers also is Wolverine and the Hulk. I think it's Wolverine issue 9. I want to say it's Wolverine and the Hulk in suits. They're literally like in white suits. That's one of my favorite covers. Every time I see that cover, I either have to grab it if they don't want too much for it. But that's one of my favorite covers also. So let me see what else. There is a Deadpool versus Wolverine, no, a Deadpool versus Black Panther cover. I got a New York Comic-Con exclusive. It's one of my favorite covers in my personal collection. That's one of my favorites. I definitely enjoy that. So yeah, I got a few, bro. I mean, it's like Amani. I think Manifesto said that list could change from week to week. So yeah. So anyway, what else you guys want to talk about, man? As far as books that came out, books that I read this week, read a few. Storm, of course. This is Herculoids number 3. I was a big fan of Herculoids growing up, so I got the comic book for that. I did read the Chamberlains issue 1. This was pretty. I really don't know what to make of it. It's not a whole lot of dialogue in this book. I mean, it's some, but it's clearly a vampire story. So we'll see where it goes. I'm gonna give it another issue to see if it's gonna do something, because I really wasn't impressed, to be honest, with this book. I mean, it's okay, you know what I'm saying, but at the same time, I do dig the art on it. So it's all right, you know what I'm saying, but it's got to do some more for me to like really, really dig it. Somebody brought up Juniba earlier. Here is Monkey Meat issue number 3. Read that. And of course, he says, I really like that Jimmy Cash, the bunch of comic book cover. Yeah, no doubt. That's old school there for sure. Ultimate Black Panther issue number 16. Dope. I'm enjoying Ultimate Black Panther. You know, I don't have a problem with them waiting to give us a Black Panther run as long as I'm reading Ultimate Black Panther. I'll take it. Let's see. Miles Morales issue 33. Pretty cool. I like anything that has Schiff in it, I'm good with. Shout out to Cody Ziegler. So yeah. Let's see what else I got here. I read a lot of stuff, man. Storm, of course, you know, Storm with Thor on the cover. So, yeah. Manifesto says absolutes are wowing, compelling writing. Yeah, I got the absolute stuff over here too. Last 2 issues of Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman. So reading that as well. Absolute Wonder Woman, reading that too. That's a dope story. That is a dope story for sure. Strange enough, I'm reading Aquaman as well. I'm more of a DC guy, but I will read some stuff, some different stuff from time to time. So, yeah. And I'm also reading Batman: The Long Halloween issue. I just finished reading issue 7 today, matter of fact. Yeah. Sierra asks, is anyone reading Captain Planet? I'm not reading Captain Planet. I hope I'm not missing anything, to be honest. The weird thing is, I heard a lot of good things about Space Ghost. I missed the party on that. I got to go back and get all the Space Ghost books. I got to find a way to get those or just grab the trade. But I missed the Space Ghost hurrah on that. Yep. Def Rocker asks, do I have any Golden Age books? I do. I do have Golden Age books. I have some Matt Baker Golden Age books. Lassie is one of the cheapest Matt Baker books you can find. But I love Matt Baker, so I had to get it. Jumbo Comics. I have a few of those. So yeah, I have some Golden Age stuff. He says, "Here comes the portal." I don't have anything from the portal. I don't have anything from the portal. Derek, run a quick commercial real quick. Let me see if I can grab some books. Got a little time. Run a quick commercial. I'll be right back.
Comics are different. Those things cannot be returned if they do not sell. Okay, so that means that if they buy 10 copies of Monica Rambeau Photon and nobody buys it, they eat that money. And your local comic shop is, the margins are very thin, right? Times are hard for everybody. And so what that means is that it gives comic shop owners incentive to be very risk averse, right? And so you could order a bunch of Batman and you know that every month people are going to come in and buy Batman. It's often characters of color, new characters, lesser known characters where they're like, I don't know, this could be good, but if I put this on my shelves and people don't buy it, I lose money. And I'm sympathetic to that. That's a real assessment that they have to make. So the way that we avoid that is you go in and you pre-order. So Paul goes in 3 months before the comic set comes out and says, hello, I would like to pre-order Monica Rambeau Photon #1. I'm not going to wait till it comes out. I'm telling you now that I want it. And at that point, they're like, okay, let me go ahead and order this. And in the comics world, that is the sale that counts. By the time you come into a store and purchase a comic book, that sale does not count. I know it is ridiculous. It is very silly. That is the way it is. The sale that counts is when the store orders it from the distributor. That is what they are counting. And so what that means is that when you go in and you pre-order things, it actually gives that store confidence. Like, okay, Paul said Paul's going to be back and spend his $5 on this book. So we're good. If we order this one, we know it's going to sell and we can pay our rent. We're not going to be eating this cost this month. The best thing to do is your subscription or your pull list where you go in and you say, I want you to put these in every month for me, right? And then they will set that aside in a box.
Message.
All right, I'm back. Let's see. I don't have everything. I took a lot of my stuff to the storage unit. I have a storage unit. And I got a few things here I'll share. Not rare stuff, but I'll share. like some 90s goodness. You know what I'm saying? I know it ain't golden age, but this is OG stuff. Def Rocker asks, have I heard of Platinum books? Yes, I have. Shout out to my man Rico Jones. Rico has, I think, a couple of Platinum age books. So yeah, we know a few people that got those books from way back. Yeah. But this ain't no platinum, but I think it's platinum in its own way. Brother Man. I got some Brother Man books. This is issues 1 through 11, I want to say. So yeah, I got a few books here. So shout out to Guy Sims and all those guys. I have multiple copies of Brother Man #1. First print, I think I got 1/3 print, but most of them. And then I got some of them signed. But let me see what I got in this box. I got random boxes here at the house. Did you like the Funkadelic comics? Of course. I had an uncle who was a big P-Funk guy, and I should say a Funketeer. That's the correct terminology. He would get all of the P-Funk albums. You know, One Nation Under a Groove. You know, Dr. Funkenstein, all of that. So got that. Let's see. Here is, speaking of Alter Ego. Alter Ego is basically a old school golden age, copper age, silver age magazine. And this particular book here, this is Alter Ego number 47, focuses on the art of Matt Baker. So there's a lot of Matt Baker art in this particular book. Matt Baker, for those who don't know, is one of the OGs of the comic book community. Now, these two books here, Alter Ego 173, which is basically a magazine dedicated to Black superheroes. If you want to grab something cool for your collection, you should try to grab something like this. The Smooth Approach says, Rich, how many bookshelves should we have for comics? You should have as many as you want, my brother. I have a storage unit. You know, my collection is my collection is insane. I take it back. It's not insane because I know guys who have 100,000 comics. I only have like 15 to 20. Paul probably has more than I do. But as far as shelves or whatever, man, I used to have comic book boxes everywhere. And finally, I got some sense and got tired of my wife fussing at me about comic books. And so I just went and got me a storage unit. And that's where I store a majority of my collection. So, yeah. But this particular, this is Alter Ego issue number 173. And this particular book here, 174. Now, the reason why I'm showing you these two is because William Foster, the OG, William Foster, who wrote the book Looking for a Face Like Mine, has a dope article. It's a 2-part article. First part is in this book, second part is in this book. But I mean, you want to get these, if you're a comic book collector, you want to know about Black superheroes and that kind of thing on a journalistic side, yes, you should try to grab these two Alter Egos. So, yeah. Can you recommend or remind me of the Black version of the Rocketeer? Yes, that's Captain Gravity, The Legend of the Vril. I think that's the name of it. Derek, if you can pull that up so Moan can see it. Captain Gravity is the name of the book, The Legend of the Vril. I think that's the name of it. You should be able to find it under Captain Gravity. So I got that. What's in here? Let me see. I can find something rare. Okay. This is rare. I got something rare for you. This is Comic Reader issue 139. This is the first appearance of Black Lightning. This is the first appearance of Black Lightning. Black Lightning #1 is the first comic book, first DC comic book appearance. But this here was published in January of 1977. Black Lightning issue #1 came out in April. So this is the first appearance of Black Lightning by Tony Isabella and Trevor Bonnie. So I got that. Now here's a couple of that's one of them, but there should be another thing too there with that. But here's some golden age stuff right here. Here is True Comics issue 64 from 1947. True Comics issue 64, 1947. This is a dope story with a article about a black prodigy who's the piano player that's in this particular book. So this is True Comics 1947, issue 64. Here's another one. True Comics number 57 in February 1947. And here's one, Real Heroes. That's the book that we were talking about, Captain Gladly. So do you have that True Comics number 5? No, I do not. That's on the wish list. On the wish list. Here's the Matt Baker. Here's the Matt Baker I was talking about, Lassie. Matt Baker drew Lassie. And here's that issue right here. Yep. When I bought this, they didn't know it was Lassie. I mean, they didn't know it was a Matt Baker book. Yeah. Dell Comics. 10-cent comic book, y'all. Got it for $3. Yeah. So I got that. I'll show some of my Blade stuff. Got some Blade books in here. Okay. Let's see something. Yeah. So we talk about Blade, right? The first independent, or should say the first solo story of Blade outside of the comics is this book here, Vampire Tales number 8. Okay, you got that one. This is Vampire Tales number 9. And Vampire Tales number 10. Here's the ill one right here, though. This is Marvel Preview Legion of Monsters. Now, I'm gonna show you this one here first. Marvel Preview Blade the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, and then this one here, Marvel Preview Legion of Monsters. So you Blade fans out there, if you're really a Blade fan, might want to try to go cop some of this stuff. And this is just a random book. Random. I'll share some. I'll share something. Some stuff. His. Now, for some of us, back in the day, Wizards was a big deal. So this Wizard here, Wizard number 20. This features Milestone. Milestone Comics has an article in this Wizard number 20. So I got that. Let's see. Got some other stuff in here. I don't know if I want to show y'all this one. I don't know if I want to show y'all this one. Crown Comics, number 3. What else I got? Got a little bit of everything in here, y'all. Let's see. What else I want to show y'all? Yeah, that's just one box. I need, it says no Tomb of Dracula 10. I need to get Tomb of Dracula 10. That book is that's a pricey book. That's a, as they say, that's a big boy book. Maybe one day. That's all I can say, brother man. Maybe one day I can find the bread to get that. Now, this is wow, that's some heat, brother. A little bit. I'm not as, I know guys who collection is sick. One day I would like to have Rico pull up on us, because Rico Jones and Mike Carson and a few others, man, their collection is banging. That's guys I want to be when I grow up. But I'll share with you guys some other stuff real quick. He says, do you have that first milestone preview? That's actually in the in the storage unit. I have the first appearance of Milestone in publication. I do have that, and it predates the preview book. It predates everything, and guys laugh when I show them or whatever. But yeah, because in this particular publication, what is it? Icon is called Paragon. That's how predate this is. You know, he wasn't even known as Icon. He was called Paragon. And they weren't able to use that because I guess there was another superhero that was already named Paragon. But yeah. So let me see. I got some books here I want to show y'all. Just some different ways to collect. You know, Rico Jones is very knowledgeable. Yes, very, very much so. Rico's the GOAT. Rico is the GOAT. They know that guy there is the business. For real. He don't mess around. He don't mess around. Very, very knowledgeable, down to earth brother too. Love that dude. Gave me one of my first in this community space. He was matter of fact, he was the first guy to give me an AOK. That was dope. And he did that. When we first started Black Comic Lords and all that, Black Superheroes Forever. He was the first brother in this space to give me an AOK, and gave me some nice books too. I mean, matter of fact, one of the books he gave me was Wonder Woman 204. That was in that stack he sent me. I was like, yeah. So no doubt. But Dwayne McDuffie is one of my favorite writers. Actually, Dwayne McDuffie is probably my favorite comic book writer of all time. And so I've been collecting Dwayne McDuffie type stuff. And so Double Dragon, I don't know, I think I may have shared this. Double Dragon was written by Dwayne McDuffie. And, you know, everybody remembers Double Dragon from the comic books, right? So Dwayne McDuffie did the Marvel version of these books. So I got like the first 6 of them. But yeah. So I got stuff like that as well. Dwayne McDuffie wrote a Kid Flash and Impulse book, this one here. It says, have you Original Man with you? No, I don't have my Original Man with me, man. Let me see. Let me just dig through something. I always have something. I just don't always. Here is a book. It's a low grade book, but this is a Captain America Captain America Falcon, book 144, where they split up. Anthony Manzano, what's good with you? But I don't have my Original Man book with me. It's interesting though. I have the Original Man in the regular comic and in the gold edition. Some people may not know. Shout out to Alonzo Washington. But Alonzo Washington, Original Man, issue 1, he did a regular cover, and then there's a cover where the Original Man is in gold or in yellow. It's pretty cool. But I do have both of the original number 1s. Let me see if I can find something in here. Something that's worth pulling out to show. Here's a Fat Albert book. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. Do you have any Thor comics where he goes up against Black Panther? I do. I think Thor throws the hammer at him, and the hammer stops before it hits him, because the hammer is made out of, I don't know if it's made out of the moon, but there's something, they have some kind of ancient connection. But yeah, I do have those. Smoother Pro says, disappointed I slept on Milestone during that era, freshman in high school, using allowances to buy comics. Any Red Tornado? No, not no Red Tornado. Let's see. What else I got? Here's one. Here's something. And you know, this book here, this Legends, this is the first appearance of Amanda Waller. This is still in dollar bins, guys. You can find this in dollar bins. The first appearance of Amanda Waller. Go dig in some comic books. You can get this for $3 or $4. I think a lot of comic book shops don't know that that's the first appearance of Amanda Waller. Maybe they do, they just don't care. Here is a obscure Dwayne McDuffie written title called Monster in My Pocket, written by Dwayne McDuffie, by Harvey Comics. Now, and Manzano asks, do I have Blue Marvel? I do have Blue Marvel, but I don't have my floppies here. But I'll be right back. Hold on. I'll show you something. If I can find it, it may not be here. Oh, no. Okay. It's not here. It's not here. My Legend of Blue Marvel trade paperback is in storage with my floppies. I do know I put all of those because I got like almost two full sets of the Legend of Blue Marvel in storage, and I also have the trade paperback. Shout out to Kevin Greedy. So I do have those as well. Let me see, what can I find in here? Trying to find something. This here, Power Man, Iron Fist, issue 114. This is like the last art of Billy Graham on Marvel. This book here. Did Steele ever partner up with Tony in any comics? I don't think so. I don't think they did a crossover with Brother Man asked me about Evan. I don't have Evan. I wish I did. I wish I had Evan. I wish I had Evan. Evan. Let's see. Anything back here worth looking, grabbing? No. Let me see. Oh, well, here's one for you. Black Panther #1. So that's like I got a couple copies of those. Kevin says, "Do you have your collection organized in storage?" My books are all mixed up. My books are mixed up too. But my black books, my black comic books are in black, not black books. Yeah, my black comic books are all in the same short boxes. So I've already designated marks on my short boxes. It's about 100 of them. So I know where my black books are. Brother Voodoo says, "Do you okay? Looks like Billy Joel on that Power Man Iron Fist cover. Shout out to Billy Graham, the legend. Salute." Yep. Appreciate it. Here we go. Here's one. Here you go. Fast Willie Jackson #1. I haven't taken this to storage. It's weird. That's it. And I got a Black Panther book #1 in the same box. So yeah, that's Fast Willie Jackson #1. So there you go, Fast Willie Jackson. I got you in the collection too. Yep. Let's see what else is that. Turn the stuff around. I don't know, man. Let's see what else. Now, this here, World's Finest, is that they didn't make Jackson 5 comics. No, they did not. I have not seen any Jackson 5 comics. World's Finest, issue 261. They have a 260 and a 261, but this 261 has a Black Lightning backstory, or should I say a Black Lightning mini story in it, which is why I have it. So yeah. Yep. And this here, Teen Titans number 48. I believe this is the first appearance, if I'm not mistaken, of Karen Beecher, the Bumblebee. Sorry, with Joker Harling. Yep. And there's Mal Duncan on the cover. Teen Titans early book. Now this is not a black book, but this is an old school Atlas book. Now, for those who don't know, Atlas Comics was the predecessor, if I can say it like that, to Marvel Comics. And this is a book. This is a book called the Bible. Bible book. And this is way back in the day. This is a Golden Age book, if not copper. I think it's golden gold. So I got a few things. Now this I will show. I collect obscure things as well. So what you know about the Black Dynamite comic? I got him, bro. I got the Black Dynamite comic book. I do have those. But this is a comic book about a superhero who is autistic. This comic book is called Focus. Tony Todd, the guy that plays Candyman and in the Final Destination things, this is his comic book. He helped put this comic book out, and he plays this character here. That's him on the cover. That's Tony Todd. I have 2 copies of this, and this book here is signed. Yes. So Yep. Like I said, I got a few things. I don't have a lot. I don't have everything I want. I just need a few. Just need a few more things. And Evan here or there. Shout out to Jay Napoleon Winston. Maybe he one day bless me with for my birthday or something. Send me an Evan or something. Anyway, but no. Shout out to Jay because Jay gave me my first Lobo. So yeah, he gave me a Lobo as a AOK. And I appreciate that so much for. So yeah, that's the cool thing about this community, man. There are brothers in this community that are solid and that want to see you have dope books. So yeah. Marzano said, "Wow, that's good for me. I'm autistic. Is it a very entertaining comic? Yes, it is. It is. It is. It's rare. Good luck trying to find it, Marzano, because it's rare. It's rare. My brother in love is autistic. He's on the spectrum, and he is a doctor. He has a doctorate degree. He's also a pastor, and so autism is very, very. I'm very close to it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a guy who was able to do some incredible things in spite of his situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't call it a condition or anything. It's just a situation. And we all have those. So one thing I do know that autism is no different than anything. People live full lives and people live amazing lives. So everything is not always what it seems. Appreciate you, Anthony, for sharing that, bro. But look, I'm gonna go and get out of here, man. You guys have blessed me. And Def Rocker said there are levels. Are there levels to autism? Yes, there are. Yes, there are. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that because we'll be here another 30 minutes talking about it. I know a little bit about it, but there are levels to it for sure. Now, Manzano asked the question, Rich, did DC ever do a run with Deadshot by himself or had he had part of another comic book? I think there are, don't quote me, but I do think there's some solo Deadshot books. I think there's like one I'm picturing in my mind. I think there is a Deadshot book you can go get. But I think what it is if I remember, it was one of the villain books because DC did a thing where the superheroes villains it was like a comic book about the villain, even though it was like, say for example, Aquaman 23. Instead of it being about Aquaman, it was about Black Manta. Because what they did was they kind of drew over Aquaman on the trade and just drew in Black Manta. So I think he was in one of those, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Broman says, didn't they say Black Manta was autistic? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. All I know is he was a savage. The OG Black Manta was a savage. But I did like the run that Chuck Brown I think did for Black Manta. That was a dope mini series, bro, for real. No, not Chuck Brown. Sanford Green. That might have been Chuck Brown. Sanford Green covers. One of the two. But I do know that they did one for me. But look, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. My time is spent, and you know what? You guys have blessed us tonight with super chats. For that, I am grateful. And yeah, man. So I'm gonna just hit you guys with the benediction, and your boy gonna get out of here because it's a new work week. And yeah. So the benediction. Thank you for smooth process, great show. Benediction comes from Psalm. Which one I want to go? Oh, here we go. Psalm 74, verse number 1, or verse number 1 and 2, it says, surely God is good to Israel, to those who are pure in heart. But as for me, my feet came close to stumbling. My steps had almost slipped, for I was envious of the arrogant, as I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no pains in their death, and their body is fat. They are not in trouble as with other men, nor are they plagued like mankind. Therefore pride is their necklace. The garment of violence covers them. Their eye bulges with fatness. The imagination of their heart run riot. They mock and wickedly speak of oppression. They speak from on high. They have set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue parades through the earth. But I also remember their end. With that being said, from the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich, and we say peace. God bless you. We'll talk with you soon. We out.